Now it's time to show the actual results and effects in their more accentuated dynamic clarity. So here we are. That's the same. This is the comparison of the two kind of horizontal attempts to do the mouth based smile. And again, that's the movement that is purely mouth and cheek based. So not the big jaw opening, which is a more typical smile for the child in this condition. So, and what you're seeing, this is a dramatic difference, dramatic improvement in the activation of everything related to the cheeks. So the actual control of the cheeks, the transitions from the nasolabial fold to the actual, mimic muscles, and then obviously the big improvement of the circular arrangements around the mouth. So all of those are critical components: the cheeks, the circular big oral circle, the horizontal smile, and the control of the lips. So plus we're going to see that's a control of the tongue. All of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the major factors which are very, very essential and helpful for every child with the severe, say, tetraplegic condition, because and for any child who has difficulties in eating, swallowing, sleeping, and so on. So that's really a major positive contribution that you can see here. And you see, we're going to observe also a very nice, very diverse activation of the tongue. So the tongue, which gets the multiple springs and expansion, and that's really the exploration of the tongue that you are seeing. But that's obviously not all. If we are comparing the videos further, we can see that this control of the tongue and this control of the smile also comes together with the control of the lips and the control of the eyes. So what we are seeing here, again, a very obvious change in the control of the eyes, which is very essential for the children with microcephalus. Children with microcephalus have this standard, very, very essential trouble, which comes from the fact that the forehead muscles and fascia and the orbital muscles and fascia, they very much blend with each other, and there is insufficient coordination divisions between the two. So therefore, that translates into the troubles with the activation of the eyes, tracking, control of the eye positioning, and also the way how that contributes towards the stability of the neck. And here we can see very, very clear improvement of the specific orbital lines. And if we were actually to test this, manually, we would see that finally you would start feeling here the orbital ridges. And if you were to do the test from the top, you would actually see how the forehead fascia doesn't slide over the nose and over the eye line, and there would be kind of a new bridge being formed between the two. So those are very, very essential new formations that we see happening through the application of the new techniques in combination with the ABR Fascia Gel. And if we are now looking at the way how it works, so this is where we can get into the greater specifics and go into the explanations which are based on the better understanding of the fascia layers, right? So you see here we are. This is the skin fat muscle transition, and then the muscle deep fascia bone transition. So this kind of, roughly speaking, 5-layer transition, where you can see that the muscle itself is being embedded into the matrix of fascia, and therefore what we are looking at with the tonic stacking. Tonic stacking the 1, 2, 3 actually implies that you are linking to the deeper muscular response. So that's the depth. The deeper muscular response, you're linking to this deeper muscular response whilst doing the proper tonic and angular, or in that sense, arc, right? So you see arc preloading of the layers of skin and the mechanical fat that precede the response of the muscle. So that's kind of a secret sauce that makes the whole thing work. But now, if we are putting it specifically into the understanding of how it's working for the face, so this is the essential distinction. So a healthy person has really clear distinction in at least 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5 sub circles within the organization of the eye cleft, eyelid, orbital attachment, and then transition to the forehead. So why the child with the severe disability, particularly with the microcephalus, is having this trouble? Because with the distinction of the eye control, because this transition from the vertical forehead and the circular orbitals, this transition is all blended because the fascia is glued and there is lack of the selective division, so the capacity for the muscles to perform selectively. And then, of course, you would also see here, that's a similar story that goes further for the circular muscles of the mouth. It's the same thing. So you need to have those those at least 5 circles which are identifying the control of the mouth. And then there is also this special link between the circular arrangements of the orbitals and the mouth. So this kind of triangle of the coordination that exists there as well. So these are the components that we were able to address throughout these new techniques and the combination, again, with the ungluing factor that comes from the contributions of the ABR Fascia Gel, and all this coupled together then translates into freeing up, as you can see here, that's the circular part. If we zoom in a bit more, we're going to see, so thanks to the articulation of the circular part, so again, we've got the lips, the upper lips, and a couple of circles within it, and then the circle that divides it from the cheeks and the nose. And then you can see here why the dimples have appeared for this child, because this is that bridging between the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or maybe even 7, like an entire fanning of the muscles, the longitudinal muscles which are attached to the cheeks and also to the lower part of the orbitals. So they are invested in this like nice cheek dimple, and as the circular control of the mouth appeared, so we also had those muscles unlocking and thus bringing the new face expressions. So that's the effects that we were able to achieve with this simple technique. So that's a universal message for the attention, particularly for the children affected by the microcephalus, lissencephaly, and overall for the kids with the quadriplegic cerebral palsy and the ones who are having difficulties with mouth, eyes, and the swallowing controls. So I hope that this is the perception where you see the good news and where you see that in multiple scenarios, even when this child is, like at the earlier phase, he is receiving the feeding. So the thing which has to stimulate the participation of the tongue, so you can see that he's very, very passive in this and having trouble in the activation of the lips. And the new scenario gets both the lips, the tongue, and of course also the very new scenario with the control of the eyes. So I hope that you'll find this encouraging. This is great news. And, we are going to invite you to, the new sessions and get those particular techniques and combinations for yourself, as well as the other quite remarkable achievements that you can get through the ABR tools and strategies. Cheers and all the best.